For premium casino entertainment, Betway Casino brings you live casino tables, fast payouts, and the top game providers all in one place. If you're looking to play the Edmonton way, you're in the right place. So when you're ready for that premium casino feel at your fingertips, play the Edmonton way with Betway. Play responsibly. Alberta only. 18 plus.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply.
Get the inside scoop for your team on Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
It's 11:02. Good morning. Thank you for joining us here on Fantasy Frenzy, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, the home of Alberta's best beef jerky, online at wilhaukbeefjerky.com. Go check them out. Only available in Leduc, or again, online, wilhaukbeefjerky.com. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick with you here in the Sports 1440 studios. What a day. It is beautiful outside. I am envious if you're able to go do some golf. Maybe you're just doing some yard work, whatever it might be, being outside in that heat, quite nice. After you finish doing whatever you do, you should go inside and eat a nice bag of Wilhauk beef jerky, the protein you need to continue on through the day. Lots to discuss on the program today. Of course, the Edmonton Elks kicking off week 4 of the CFL season out in Winnipeg. Should be a fun one for sure. The Elks down a couple players, but you got Justin Rankin, you got Fajardo, you got Austin Mack. You got the guys you need to go out there and hopefully get the job done. Shorter week, of course. The Elks played on Saturday. Now you're back out there on Thursday. So quick turnaround for this team. But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe you don't want time off here if you're the Edmonton Elks. You want to keep on rolling, getting things going. On the flip side, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, not too bad for them. They had the bye week. So they obviously got a chance to watch Justin Rankin. How do we try to slow him down? Don't miss the first tackle. That's what I would say. Hats to the ball if you're the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and you're trying to slow down the Edmonton Elks ground attack. That being said, he makes guys miss a lot, and all it takes is one. Then he's also an option in the screen game. Or if he's just in pass pro, breaks down, drops off as an outlet. This guy's always going to be an option. So it's going to be a fun game tonight out in Winnipeg. Now, I'm looking at the forecast, and it looks like rain. Now, I don't know how long that will continue on for. I don't know how up-to-date this app is that I'm using here on Apple, but it looks like rain, maybe some wind. We'll dive into it a little bit closer here to see if the Elks could finally play a game in premier conditions. As I mentioned, Josh Fenwick and the Duke of Delaware, Brandon Douglas here as well. Duke, good morning. How you doing?
Morning, Connor. I'm doing well. Like you said, the weather. Enjoying a couple nice days here in the City of Champions. Played some slow pitch last night. I would say the second Wednesday of the entire summer so far, going back to the start of May, that we played a game actually in the sunshine.
And? You got a sunburn?
No, I got some really nice color. I'm starting to bronze up, look like a young, I would say Adonis, but I think cherub is probably a more accurate description of my body type. We lost, got eaten alive by mosquitoes due to the recent surge of moisture we've had around a lot of the green spaces and beyond. But you know what? It's just nice to get out. And guess what? I even played.
Okay. Kind of loser mentality, but glad you got out there.
Okay, so here's the thing. So it was a playoff game.
Playoffs?
Yeah, we're in the lower bracket anyway because we did.
First half of the season, right?
It's like then. Yeah, the league will restart here the second week of July because we'll play our final game of the first half next week on July 1st. Funnily enough, but so we're in the bottom half of the bracket anyway. Like we couldn't win. The best we could finish is 5th. we lose the opportunity to do that. Now we'll play next week to vie and to avoid last place. But even if that happens, come see, come sa.
I've always thought you guys were a second half team.
Well, that's what we're looking to prove here as of July the 8th.
Come see, come sa?
Yeah, that's en français.
Oh.
So.
Or you could say noon cheppy, like Philip Rivers would say.
Ooh, is that like a Alabama saying or something?
That's Latin for now we begin.
Really?
Yeah.
How interesting.
Now he would always wear that hat. I think
something new today.
he was asked about it and he said it and he's like, I don't know if that's totally right. It might be a little like Alabama twang on it, nuncheppy, but that could be your team's motto going forward. I misread their weather forecast because Apple graphics maybe not the best. It's gonna be beautiful.
Oh, good.
24 and sunny, and it's only gonna cool down to by the end of the kickoff, or end of the game 20. So that's beautiful weather.
That's a beautiful evening in the Peg. And listen, you mentioned the Elks for a chance to play in some better conditions to maybe show off more elements of their game, particularly the pass game, which I think does have another level to get to. Now, conditions playing a factor, but at the same time, if it was rainy and muddy again, we know that they're comfortable in that because of the strength of their run game and O-line play when you have those big bodies up front, and then Justin Rankin's explosiveness, the ability to make guys miss. It's almost wonders, like, for the chance to move 3-0 against a very good Winnipeg team, would you prefer to be in the slop and really just lean into your pounding ground game plan?
Well, I'm sure the staff on the sideline is enjoying the sun. I think you might be onto something there where it's like, let's just go play this kind of boring style road game. But I think the playmakers would have something else to say about that. The receivers for sure, like, okay, better conditions. We had Austin Mack on. He talked about the gloves wearing that as they get moist, you do get a little bit better grip, but also that ball being wet doesn't help them. And we saw that once with Mathis. Wow, high pointed the ball very well, hit his hands, just didn't hang on to it. I would hope that the weather played a little bit of a role in that one and hope he brings that down in the future. But yeah, the 1-1 Winnipeg Blue Bombers, they've always got that, I don't know, like the mystique, because we know how good they have been. Hamilton cooked them. They did get past Calgary in Calgary to kick off this season, but if you go back to that game against against the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Bo Levi Mitchell, and he's been great to start the season, was outstanding. So I'm kind of curious. Yes, Winnipeg had a chance to maybe work on some things over the bye week and how they want to approach it. But Bo Levi Mitchell in that game went 19 of 24, 287, 3 touchdowns. They also got absolutely torn up on the ground. Larry Roundtree, the third, former Charger, 23 carries, 124 yards. Trey Ford got out there and rushed for 22 yards on a carry. Even Bo Levi Mitchell had 15 yards. I'm a big believer of using the pass game to set up the run in the CFL. Get yourself into second and short situations. But, this could be a game where you get a balanced attack from the Edmonton Elks, and it could work out pretty well. Should be a fun one. I'm going to be on location tonight. If you want to come down and watch the game out at Game On in Sherwood Park, we'll probably have some drink and food specials as well. And it's a really good location. So if you're out there in the park, you want to come join me, kickoff 6:30. I'd recommend getting there a little bit early. Duke, you were there last time. You were not allowed to win prizes.
No.
But they had the whole thing has changed with these watch parties where in the past we do trivia at halftime. There's only 2 competitors. Now we do elimination trivia. So it's 10 questions. You have to go 10 for 10 to be eligible to win the prize. And it's usually a pretty good thing, like a jersey or something. You and I didn't go do very well.
No, I got to 3.
And I didn't know that it was elimination.
You, as we always say with the games, contests, fantasy leagues, know the rules before you start.
Yeah.
Know the parameters, and you did not. As a result, you didn't get any right.
Because I was just hitting any button just to see what the next question was. And the first one I got wrong. So didn't know the rule. As the host, my bad. Should know that. I learned. But hopefully we'll see you guys down there tonight. Should be a very good time. Talk a little Canada soccer. We got the replay on right now, Duke. I don't know how into it you were yesterday. Yeah, I know you guys went out for a little bit of a Chinese buffet.
Oh, yeah.
But I was encouraged by some things. Like the goal at the end, the desperation they had. The goal they had was world class. That was unbelievable by 3 of their players. The 2 goals against incredibly frustrating. Like the second goal, especially where 3 defenders like forget how to play, forget how to defend, and just flock to the ball. You could even kind of say that for the first goal as well, where the player comes down the wing for Switzerland and scores the goal. On the positive, I do think that those are very easy coaching moments. You're like, guys, we cannot all watch the ball. Communicate. Make sure someone is watching the attackers coming in from the opposite side. Easy things to clean up, but discouraging to say the least when you have a chance to have an extra 4 days off. I think because you would have played on Thursday
instead of
Sunday. You would have stayed in Vancouver. That stuff is very disappointing. They kind of, I guess, lost their head in the moment. That being said, you've got South Africa now. You've got to turn your attention to them. They had the big win over South Korea last night. Because, we were kind of talking about it on the Gregor show. Like this, South Korea handles their business. They go through. Didn't handle their business. Lost 1-0. And now Canada gets South Africa. Sunday, I'm driving to BC. You want to hook me up with some of that Starlink, Duke? Put it on my car and then I'll just stream the game. As I drive through the mountains?
Yeah, as I say, you could just stream it and listen to the play-by-play. I think even cell service can sometimes, or not cell, radio signal can be pretty dicey at times through the mountains, depending on what you're trying to listen to. But I do believe that you can stream the games play-by-play, like the actual radio play-by-play, instead of trying to do the full video stream and listening to that play-by-play over the Bluetooth.
The problem for me is we're going to go down to like the Radium Hot Springs area in that vicinity. And once you make that turn past Banff, there's no cell service. Castle Junction.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, that complicates things.
Might have to stop at an establishment and watch a little bit
of
as
much of it as you can while enjoying a midday meal with the family.
Yeah, you get it. And
part of the family going on this trip, of course, you have your wife, your beautiful son, Benny,
My
and
wife.
then strapped into the second seat in the back seat of the vehicle, your ice maker.
Yeah, of course. Just in case.
Will you bring your ice maker in to enjoy the meal as well?
Yeah, for sure. I go to establishments.
Sitting there like your second child in the booster seat at the around the table.
Yeah, do you guys have an extension cord?
Yeah, I really need this.
No ice in my soda. I brought my own, and then I just get my Pebble Ice flowing out. That'd be something. Canada, though, right now, going into this one might say has the advantage. Canada currently the 31st ranked nation, dropped down a spot. South Africa sitting at, I want to say 60 something. I think I might have scrolled past them. 54, sorry. They jumped up 6 spots. So, if you just look based off that, means nothing. That was actually South Africa's first win in a few matches. So before that, they lost 2 and draw 2. I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious what the plan will be for Alphonso Davies when you get him rolling. Like, I know you guys talked about it on the show. It seems interesting. I don't know exactly what the thought process is in saying, it was gamesmanship. I just wouldn't have said anything if I'm Marsh. He beats to his own drum, though. We know that. But what changes, Like, okay, if you're the Swiss, you're probably having that discussion. Hey, guys, yes, if Alphonso Davies comes in at left back, he's certainly a weapon, and we'll watch for him. It's like the same thing in hockey, Duke. You and I were talking about before the game or before the show. When you hide your goaltenders, who's going to be the starter? Like, how much really changes? You're not at practice like, okay, this guy's got a weak glove. All practice, we're only shooting glove. And then you get to the game and, oh my gosh, it's not who we thought it was going to be. It's someone else. What do we do? Like those adjustments I made pretty quickly in the room, on the bench, heck, on the ice sometimes. I don't know, Duke. In football, like, unless you had 2 quarterbacks and one's Michael Vick and one's Peyton Manning and their offenses drastically changed and they're different-handed quarterbacks, I don't necessarily really get the whole keeping things secretive. Like it's cool that you're keeping it to yourself, but I don't know how big of the advantage is all the time.
I just think when you hear those comments post game, the first thing that springs into my head is to what end?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, he was a decoy for us. And then you read and hear some of the Swiss coaches' comments. And he says, yeah, we know Davies is a good player, and the chances of him playing this game, we're aware of that in our game planning. But according to him, it wasn't something that they don't focus on any specific player. And as you kind of said, Connor, those adaptations and changes made in real time with whoever's coming on the field, whatever substitution is made. And so in a game where at best he was going to make an appearance off the bench, and for an unknown number of minutes, maybe it was just to get him back in game action, test it out. How's it feel? All right, sub back off, do a little bit of rehab physio afterwards, and hopefully get ready for the next game, whenever that may be, Sunday or Thursday. Well, we now know it's Sunday, and you didn't see him at all because it was a decoy. Like, what were you hoping to accomplish?
Yeah.
I was scratching my head at it. I didn't really understand it. And so then he follows that up, Jesse Marsh, that is, by saying, but he's going to be good for Sunday. So what's changing in 4 days that he wasn't available yesterday, but will be available Sunday? That like these 4 days are making the difference in what's been a year plus long absence. I'm a little confused, which is maybe what Jesse Marsh wants everyone else to be as well. I didn't get it. I didn't get it at all. And your comparison to the goaltender situation in the NHL is a very apt one, and one I would align with.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'm just thinking, I'm not a world-class coach here by any means, Duke. Davis gets subbed into the game. I'm yelling at my guys, test him. Let's see how this hamstring is. Let's see how fast he's moving out there. If he's going full speed and he's shut down, let's try the other side. Let's go away from him. Like that is it. These guys are the best of the best. And as much as you do have to prepare for these sort of things, they can change things on the fly and change the strategy. And, they're the best of the world. Large Farva says apparently Bayern's physio is with Davies and they got a big say in him playing. Canada screwed up Davies last time, so we find ourselves in a weird impasse. Hey, that could be it. Club paying a lot of money. Nick in Grand Prairie says the position in sports where preparation matters the most, be a pitcher. And we know who's starting 5 days before. Exactly, Nick. Like that's great. That might be the sealant on it. This is what he has. These are his pitches. This is what he likes to do. We know who we're going to get. Walter says they certainly came out flat in the second half. If the advantage is 0.1 of a percentage point, you do it. With razor-thin margins, every potential advantage matters.
But give me the advantage.
What's the advantage of how quickly the Swiss would have adapted knowing both possible outcomes, he plays or he doesn't play? I don't know. You test it. If he's good, then that's just one rush that didn't work out for you. Then you go the other way. Bobby says, good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Bobby. On the second Swiss goal, Canada looked like the Oilers defenders in their own zone. Oh, well, we've seen that a few times. We call it puck watching.
Little disorganized.
Yeah, it was sloppy. But I do think that, that's the thing you show on film. Guys, what did we do here? And there will be probably two culprits that can say, okay, lesson learned, coach. One of us needs to make a better decision there. We'll make sure we do it on Sunday. Trev just texted in quickly. In fantasy football, do you guys have a tendency to draft players from your favorite team? We have a dude that always takes 3 to 4 Packers every draft because that's his team. Doesn't really work out for him. We had a friend a couple of years ago. Maybe it was last year. I think he had Bowers and Genty. I don't even think he was a Raiders fan, though. Just took both those guys. I don't personally. I try to use it, I guess, as an advantage. Like, might stay away from certain guys or maybe try to find a sleeper like this year. I think Quentin Johnston might be wide receiver 1 for the Chargers. Really good catch and run. I think could be a benefit of that offense with Mike McDaniel. But yeah, I'd for the most part, a couple players like Duke, you're probably not shying away from Nico Collins if he's there.
No, and that's almost the toughest line to toe when you're drafting your fantasy football team is like, I pay more attention to this team's, weekly practice reports or what's happened in training camp and injury problems than other people in your league. So you think you can get an inside track that, oh, it says this guy's injured. It'll shy everyone else away. But I know it's this maintenance stuff. He's going to be ready to go week 1 of the season. I'm going to get him for a steal of a spot. And turns out everyone else has access to all the same like little tabs you click on whatever fantasy app you use. and you don't think you're not as smart as maybe you thought you were. It's so tough to shy away from the players you want to naturally root for. Then you can double down by rooting for them for your fantasy team too. But you gotta have a little bit of restraint. You can't draft an entire team. Like, don't leave wide receiver 2 of a good team on the board to draft wide receiver 4 from your favorite team because you're like, oh, this guy's sneaky breakout potential. He's the 4th wide receiver. He's not better than some of the other names on the board, so you can't get caught up. But yeah, I'm still a believer in a guy like CJ Stroud to be an average to find quarterback, at least from a fantasy production standpoint. Nico Collins is excellent receiver, and then the 2 second-year guys out of Houston. I'm pretty heady on what they can do in sophomore seasons with maybe a little bit more opportunity with Christian Kirk no longer in the fold. Like, did Jalen Noel and Jaden Higgins have a little more to offer than we saw in year one? Yeah, absolutely. I think so.
Well, we're about a month and a half away from really getting into our NFL draft talk. And we'll do it. We'll take a break right now, though. When we come back, more text, though. We got Hoggy, Triple C in the Truck, Walter, a few others rolling in here. AZ as well. We'll get to all those and more. Talking Canada soccer. We can talk Elks. It's Fantasy Frenzy, brought to you by Wilhock Beef Jerky.
Beer League Slow Pitch. It's an Alberta summer tradition.
I got shortstop. I'll take pitcher.
Yeah, I'm just here for the dugout snacks.
When you're playing on the field, you need serious fuel. And there's only one MVP.
Wilhock Beef Jerky.
Load up on Alberta's best beef jerky and hit a home run with the team. It's the perfect snack for your summer sports.
Wilhock Beef Jerky, because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Canada's men's rugby team at Clark Stadium. July 4th, Canada takes on Spain. July 11th, a doubleheader as Canada battles Portugal and Tonga faces Spain. Build the home field advantage for Team Canada. Tickets at Ticketmaster.
Cantork has turned 25. That's right, 25 years of building tools so good, they practically torque themselves. Hard work and innovation equals problem solved. See our latest designs at cantork.com.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
Hi, Edmonton. Fuel prices are climbing, and Subaru fights back with the all-new, all-electric 2026 Trail Seeker. With up to 444 kilometers of range, fast charging, legendary Subaru symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, the Trail Seeker is built to help you go further. And when summer adventure calls, it's ready with towing capacity of 1,587 kilograms. Test drive the all-new Trail Seeker. Visit your local Subaru dealership today and seek every trail. Welcome to Uncommon.
Who should start? Who needs to hit the bench? Find out with Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Wilhock Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
It's 11:25. Welcome back to Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, the home of Alberta's best beef jerky. Online at willhawkbeefjerky.com. I bet the stereos like Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Pat probably does. We always say we got to get him in studio one of these days here. I think he'd be interested, but I don't know. He might not be.
But between your guys' connection in the same fantasy league and his, he collaborates quite a bit with our buddy down the hallway here, Dan Davidson.
Oh, really?
At CFCW, yeah. Dan is doing quite a bit of producing, I think, for Pat's venture into the country scene. The Delta Suite.
Delta Suite
is the name of that project.
Yeah. If he were to come in, do we call him Delta?
I call him the man.
Hey, man. Hey, the man.
The star of Disband.
Yeah, exactly. Text lines 1-833-401-1440. Good pull. Did you watch that show?
I don't think
so. Or
so.
you just heard about it?
I just like saw the ads for it on Much Music, and then when the music videos would come on, and like that was when Summer Girl first came out, and it was blowing up, obviously. I'm like, hey, those are those guys from the commercials I'd see on Disband.
You know what? Bad question. You were too busy farming.
I was too busy macking on chicks.
Yeah, living up the dream. Delburn Junior High. Text lines 1-833-401-1440. This segment is brought to you by Elks Nation. Check out the new website, elksnation.ca. Articles, podcasts, and more breaking down the green and gold. The most in-depth W football coverage online, elksnation.ca. And of course, you got Eddie and Declan. They'll be breaking down the game tomorrow. So the podcast will drop, I don't know, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow morning. Those guys do a great job getting you ready for the games and then breaking them all down afterwards. Text line says, AZ. I think Qatar and Bosnia. Yeah, you can use Alphonso Davies as a decoy, but the Swiss have gone up against better players than Alphonso and managed them. I don't agree with Alphonso's handling by Soccer Canada and by Jesse Marsh. You know, it's funny too, because like obviously you want your captain out there, one of your best players, no doubt. The results been good. Like they got through. You know, I think they could beat South Africa. Like it's a game they could win.
They're favored in the game.
Yeah. So like this, if they get past the round of 32, Duke, like to me, that's massive.
Yeah.
And to do it without Alphonso Davies would be insane. Now, the prestige might be a little different because of the expanded team, the field. Yeah. So people might not use that as a knock, but now we're Canadian soccer fans. We're not used to having success on the world stage here.
Play the games that are scheduled for you.
Yeah. Now, on the men's side. On the women's side, we expect a lot more. But for the men's side, like this is a program on the rise and should be only getting better. Like they've got some young talent on this team, and I would hope some really good young players, motivation to keep on going here. Keep it going. Walter says, there may be no advantage, but you do it anyway. It's called keeping your cards close to the vest from Walter. Walter, I agree. Like I have no issue with it. To me, it's just it's like a who cares? Like I don't get mad about it. I don't praise them. It's just sure you do it.
It's like, what was the point? That's like I said, there's nothing about the decision that has me throwing my arms like, what are you doing? I do like, what are you doing? It's a nonchalant response for me personally, and I say that with the understanding where I've admitted many times over on the show, like I don't know that much about the game of soccer, especially the finer points of it, but there are translatable things to other sports that I do know more about, and I just can't see really any advantage being gained in this process. And then also, it's kind of just like the comments part to me, Connor. You don't have to tell us he was a decoy. You can just say, he's like, yeah, we decided not to bring him in. All right, cool.
I also feel, for me personally, a lot of people like take words as gospel. Like, well, what does it mean? I think sometimes it's just a throwaway comment. Like, thought to be a decoy.
So I'll ask you this. Do you think he plays on Sunday? Marsh said he would. After he's talking about the decoy, he's like, we expect him to be ready for Sunday.
Situations are situational. I think it depends how the game's going. That's my thought. If close game.
So he's not going to start.
I don't think he'll start. I think if he's like 1-1, 0-0, you're down a goal, you're desperate, maybe bring him out there. Now you're up by a goal. Then I'm thinking, how is that hammy? Can he defend properly? Tyler D, great point, says, at the end of the day, the only people who know anything are the team and the trainers. All these people saying he's being mishandled don't know, what about Jack. It's true. We don't know. Well, Canada's trainers, Bayern's trainers, the team, the coaches, they probably will get an idea. Alfonso. But yeah, The speculation is just outside noise. Matt Leduc says, what are the chances that Jesse Marsh thought Alphonso Davies was available, said he would be available, and then Bayern Munich got involved and said, no, he's not available for this game. And now Jesse Marsh is left going, okay, well, I guess it's going to be a decoy. I'm willing to bet the plan wasn't to make him a decoy, but he wound up being one.
Okay, that's possible, sure. We can entertain that notion. But I would push back and say, so then why'd all of a sudden you say, but he's available Sunday? Like, if all of a sudden you know that Bayern Munich has stepped in and kind of kiboshed him using in this game, it's 4 days later. How much can change?
You're a pretty straightforward guy, Duke. You don't get the mind games.
I guess not. I'm too much of a straight shooter. 95 right down the pipe. I don't need any junk.
It would have been funny if Marsh walked off and then looked back and said, but maybe he won't.
Yeah.
And then just walked away.
Yeah, but maybe.
I don't know. Okay. Augie sent a text. I just want you guys to know that he said, following up, sorry if that was jumbled. Text and drive doesn't catch all the enunciation. So I'm going to go through this and see how it goes. It says, maybe he wasn't 100%, but as a coach, you might think, well, if we're going to put you in a game, I'd rather put you in a 16-team elimination game rather than a 32. If we lose, we're second if we win the first game. But you're wasting his one and only game. There is some strategy to holding him back for a few extra days. And if you're only going to get that one game out of them, let's get the one that matters more. Sunday's game matters more. That would be the difference. And I get that, like thinking, okay, depending on how this game goes, we'll get you in. And then just maybe at some point, like saying, you know what? I'm happy with the way we're playing. We're having pressure on the back end. Like we're content with this. Let's get through to the elimination game. We're out of the group stage. That's great. That's huge for the program. Let's give him as much time as possible. Because I know you guys said it, like, what's the difference? Like 4 days, how much can change in health? Maybe that's just enough. At some point, there is going to be a 4-day span that gets you over the edge.
True.
Where you
It's
go
true.
from not being able to play to being able to play. And what if he goes out there and has that setback? I don't know. We can talk about this in circles. I think every point that's come in about it, I'm like, there's some merit to that.
There's merit to it, and I, for sure, right there's usually merit to many different sides of an argument or a discussion. So, and I think a lot of it stems from the fact that it's a little bit of frustration from us, the viewers, because we want to see him play. He's the best male player our country's ever produced. And this is the best team that the country's ever produced at the World Cup stage. They get out a group, expanded field, understandably a factor here. We want to see the best player playing on the best version of the team we've ever had. Like, we want to see this club reach their maximum potential, which without Alphonso Davies, they're not doing. Even if, as you said, Carmen, they've performed exceptionally well in these games against lesser opponents. Qatar certainly, but Bosnia and Herzegovina, they draw them, but they're kind of on that same tier. South Africa, I would put in the same grouping of that quality, but if you can win that game, you're up against something I would expect to be a much different caliber into the round of 16. But they got to get there first, favored or not. It's going to be no small task to take on the South Africans with Davies or without come Sunday afternoon.
A lot of good text coming in. Ellen Camero says notably the opposite of Canada. If they're up 2-0, he will draw in for low pressure to knock the rust off for the round of 16. Why? Look how they handled Bombito. Be the same way. Also adding that the round of 32-16 is 6 days rest. So it would be 11 total versus 5. Well, if he doesn't play this upcoming game, yeah. And again, like I'm with you. If you're up 2-0 at that point, throw him in. Yeah, let him run around a little bit. See what he's got. Go full speed. Madison. Canada isn't going to win the World Cup.
That's probably true.
If he's not 100%, why put him at risk?
If that's your approach, why go? Like, Canada's not going to win. Why field the team?
Why send him if he's too risky?
Why?
Because he's a competitor, Madison. That's why. He's a gamer. He wants to play.
In an event like this, for a nation and program like Canadian soccer, it's not about hoisting the trophy over your head when it's over. It's about making progress and, proving that you're belonging with this group of teams that, as you said earlier, Connor, a team program on the rise. No one's disillusioning themselves with this notion that Canada, if Alphonso Davies gets back, and they can win the World Cup. I think that's silly. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't want to play the game, enter the tournament, win, put your best foot forward. So I don't put a lot of stock into that particular sentiment.
I mean, he's a competitor. Like, if 99% of athletes.
He wants to play. He wants to represent his nation.
On home soil.
Otherwise he would have told them back in camp, said, listen, it's going to be too tough. Don't use the spot on me. See you guys in next year for some tune-up games.
Mm-hmm. Levi says Nolly didn't play his last chance to at home in a World Cup is the same level as Babcock with Modano. Well, Modano wasn't hurt. It was regular season. He could have played a minute. I think Modano was worse than Alphonso Davies. I get the comparable. Also, any news on who's replacing Kevin? Not yet. Tomorrow you guys will find out. Davies has a hamstring injury, ? He can't play soccer if you can't run. His effectiveness in that state will be nil, unfortunate. Yeah, well, he suffered the injury against, was it PSG while playing for Bayern in Champions League? It could be healthy, though. That's the thing. We don't know how bad it is, but I'm with you. I mean, especially if he's playing left back and he's running full speed down the wing, you got to be 100%. Any setbacks, it's awful. It's awful. A lot of text rolling in here. Elks tonight. What's the over-under on pass yards for the Elks? I am a suspect of the Elks pass game. Yet to see it. 200 yards, touchdown. Can he throw a deep ball? And yes, I know it's been a rainy start. Well, I mean, we've documented Cody Fajardo doesn't necessarily throw the most deep balls. He's averaging just under 250 yards per game this season. The one thing I will say, Duke, and you can question the deep ball, but there's just that X factor in the backfield. And if he gets the ball, he can take it 80 yards. This guy can take it to the house. So you can get some nice little points, easy receiving yards with plays like that. And I'm like a guy like TJ Luther. I want to see what he can do yak-wise, with better conditions. Plant your foot in the ground, turn it the other way. Same with Austin Mack. So that combined with what we saw the last time we saw this Bombers defense.
Like the Bombers, there's been no team, and it's still very early in the season, but there's been no team worse against the run so far.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been no team better running the football than the Elks. So it kind of comes across as one of those mismatched scenarios where, the stoppable force meets the very movable object. Or actually flip that, sorry. It's the unstoppable force meets the very movable object, because we know how effective Rankin can be in the Elks run game as a whole. And the Bombers have shown an inability to really stop the run. 171 yards against per game so far. So if you're the Elks, you're confident, but I think you recognize, if you're Jordan Maximic, or at least I would hope, your pass game is the complement to your run game. Just because it's finally nice weather, don't force that to make splash plays and stuff when you don't have to. I get it. You want to see it. You want to know you have it in your bag, but you also want to win football games. This isn't preseason.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to have success running the football, keep running the football. He's your best player. He's your playmaker. Put the ball in his hands. Screen game, dump off game, or just straight off handoffs. I expect Rankin to be very, very busy again tonight.
I think so. And as he should be.
100%.
Guy's pretty good. I'll pound the drum. I'd like to see Javon Lee get in there as well. So I think he can also make some plays. Just Walt and Darcy asking, what's happened with Kevin? Well, in case you missed it yesterday, Mr. Carey has announced his retirement from broadcasting. So tomorrow is going to be his last show. So there will be a replacement announced tomorrow. Nothing like he didn't get fired. The funniest, Duke, was people who were like, wow, the Babcock. That had nothing to do with it. KK had been plans for months. He was going to stick around for the playoffs just in case the Oilers.
I think the favor, because I read tons of the reply tweets and comments on Instagram and Facebook of so many people, both at a local perspective, and then, countrywide, North America-wide, that have had the chance to know Kevin over, these distinguished 36 years, offering their well wishes and comments and memories, etc. The favorite one I saw was his reply tweet that said, retiring with just 3 days notice. There's definitely something more to this. It was like, no, Kevin's just guy that's not really for the pomp and circumstance. And if he had it his way, he would have told us at 10:40 tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I mean, like, by the way, this is it for me. I'm hanging him up. And then, Gregor and others kind of was like, no, Kevin, you gotta, take your flowers a little bit here. This is an end of a real era for Edmonton media. People want the chance to say goodbye and express their gratitude, which we've seen come in droves here on our own social media, our own text line, and then even Kevin's, and frankly, even my personal phone, people wanting to pass things along to Kevin, get his number, to reach out, etc. So it's been really cool to see, and we're looking forward to having a really fun final show tomorrow morning.
I will say this: if he was quitting on 3 days' notice, he would not have a replacement tomorrow. The process takes a little longer than that. So, yeah, make sure you tune in tomorrow. KK's last show. Tears? Maybe.
I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen any yet.
Maybe the opposite. Maybe Kevin drops a couple F-bombs because it's, what's he going to do? Last day.
Good point. he still managed to keep, but Laddie's coming back for one more week before he leaves for Czechia for his new coaching job. So maybe next week Laddie will return to his early radio roots of full unfiltered. I hope not, because I'm going to be the one co-hosting with him next week. But I'm worried it could be possible.
Jane Victoria says, great points, Duke. Why bother passing if they can't stop the run? Yeah. And then when they start to creep up,
then you'd hit him with maybe that deeper shot. You said it, Connor. Well, actually, I think you said it the other way. Use the pass to set up the run in the CFL. But we know that regardless of what league, how many downs there are, to have success, you got to have both working. And if they can work in complement of each other, whichever one is maybe a little bit more dominant, then that's where you're going to achieve your ultimate level of success as an offense. And as a result, probably keep most of your players happier too, because everybody's getting a little touch, getting their cookies throughout the course of a season.
I've seen so many times that, opposing teams just run those little, the receiver in motion, you got the waggle, 7 yard out, setting yourself up every time. So I'm always pass first in the CFL, but I shouldn't say always. The majority of the time I'm pass first. When you have Justin Rankin, it's all right to run the ball.
Just pass to him on first down.
Yeah, heck, why not? Just don't use him in pass protection all the time. Laura Sanato says, me and my buddies got bets on who his replacement is. I see the names. You might be right, North and Adam. One of those names might be right. Could be. We'll find out tomorrow. It's Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This deal's only good till 6 o'clock tonight. We need your credit card to hold the color. Hold the color. Summer package. Winter package. And the ever-famous re-PDI fee. I gotta pay you to rebuild the car? Does this sound familiar? At Northgate, we do things differently. We offer 0% financing, a great selection of new, pre-owned vehicles. So if you'd like to do business a different way, stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country. Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant in the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails in a stylish, modern atmosphere. Perfect for a casual meal or a special night out. Summit offers a refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Make Summit Restaurant your destination tonight.
Listen up, friends. Operation Pizza is a go at Papa John's. They're introducing new personal pizzas, just in time to celebrate the premiere of Toy Story 5. These adventure-sized pies come in new, exciting flavors like Sheriff's Roundup, Space Ranger-oni, and Reach for the Pie. Or take your personal pizza to infinity and beyond by creating your own flavor just for you. Order 2 or more with Papa Pairings and get yours for only $9.99 each. New personal pizzas are ready for takeoff. See Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 in theaters June 19th.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
Good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say,
I'm good to go. The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Soccer? June's biggest event is happening right here at Metal Supermarkets. The Big Bin Sale is back. Everything in the off-cut bins, 30% off. A wide assortment of miscellaneous metal priced to clear. Just in time for your next DIY project. But hurry, it's selling faster than a guy kicking a ball on the grass to another guy. And, forget it. When's hockey season start anyhow? Metal Supermarkets, the local convenience stores for Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
From the local rinks to homes and businesses across the province, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members, and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's energy. Game on.
Every coach needs a game plan. Plan your fantasy frenzy with Halley and Douglas right here on Edmonton's Sports 1440.
Presented by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
$11:49. Welcome back. It's Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, the home of Alberta's best beef jerky. Thinking about it, I might have to swing by Wilhauk on my road trip out of town. It only makes sense. I don't want that garbage beef jerky from other places. You know, all the preservatives. Not for me. I want the good stuff. It's Fantasy Frenzy. Halley, Douglas, Fenwick with you here in the Sports 1440 studio. The show just became into guessing who the replacement is, essentially, on our text line here. I will say maybe some of you are right. Definitely some of you are wrong.
And maybe none of you are right.
Maybe none of you.
Maybe.
Yeah. I really...
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe I don't even know.
Yeah, maybe this is the Jesse Marsters. Like we're getting foxed inside our own hen house here or something.
Yeah.
Could you imagine what a twist that would be? We don't know. What was the prank show that what basketball player was hosting?
Oh,
it had a name.
Anthony Davis, the one he was doing?
Yeah, what was the title of it? And I might not even think of the right one. I think Blake Griffin also had like a show a few years ago, and it was called like Double Prank or Double Twist or something like that.
What is the 80s punchline like when he gets them?
Gotcha.
You got dunked on.
No, that's Froggy Freckles punchline.
Foul play.
Davis's was. Look up what Blake Griffin's show was called. I'm pretty sure that's who was doing it.
I mean, I liked the Watt brothers. Let's play some tag. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Or like Steph Curry's mini golf
Double
one?
cross. I was directionally correct there. That's
Double tech. I don't like prank shows, man.
Not even the original Punk'd?
I felt bad for those people. Like, Justin Bieber cried. Or was it Timberlake? I think Timberlake cried. It was a fun concept at first. Like, I'll give them credit for originality, kind of. Like, for me, I'm more of a just for laughs pranks, you know?
Well,
harmless.
The beauty of Just for Laughs is that you can watch them without any sound and it doesn't matter. Like, aka in waiting rooms and lobbies and inside donair shops or whatever. That's the beauty of Just for Laughs.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate it for what it is. I'm not going out of my way to watch Just for Laughs. But if it's on, I'll watch at least a few skits.
And I didn't appreciate it as a younger person, but now I do.
I come home from school. It's what's on like TV from when my dad left to go and do afternoon chores. I'm like, this show sucks.
Yeah. And now it's like, God, good pranks.
Good
pranks.
These are just good, wholesome pranks. Fun for the whole family.
Coming up next on the station, Duke, speaking of fun for the whole family, the Lowdown with Low Tide from noon to 2. Thursday. Baked milk. What's the epitome of?
Fun for the whole family.
It's true. He and Declan and Josh keep it very G-rated. Then 2 to 6, we got the Gregor Show. We got Thirsty Thursday. Some booze sampling. That's when it gets R-rated. Terry Ryan will join us, tell us what his experience with The Price is Right. We got Landon Ferraro. We've got Derek Taylor. Talk a little Blue Bombers. Gregor had a chance to chat with Cody Fajardo yesterday, so we'll play that interview. Eddie Steele's going to swing by, actually, at 5:20 in studio. Oh, lots going on. Spec.
Oh, Eddie coming. He's like, I'll be in the neighborhood. May as well pop in.
Yeah.
For a little chat.
That's it. He's going to swing by. He's going to come in and I'm going to walk out. I'll be heading to the watch party. Like ships in the night. As it is. You know what happened to me yesterday, Duke?
I'd love to hear.
So, turning left into my neighborhood, somebody, because there's 2 lanes and then it opens up into that third lane strictly for left turns. Somebody from what would at the point be the middle lane cut left in front of me
to like turn across the intersection.
Across the intersection, yeah.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
So I laid on the horn, gave him a look. He flashed his 4 ways as I assume an apology. Man, don't be that dummy. That's my PSA.
So you used your horn. Are you pretty liberal with the use of your horn often in traffic?
I think I've used my horn like 5 times in my life.
Which is so funny because I think we've talked about this before and we're kind of in the same vein on that. But I'm like, I use my horn to move cattle out of my way when I'm driving up the laneway back at the farm. But I too actually had an incident last Friday on my way home that I actually honked at someone. And no joke, I don't know how it played out. I wasn't sticking around to see. I think there might have been like an actual road rage incident. I hope nobody got actually hurt, but these 2 cars pulled over because somebody threw something out their window and hit this car that had just cut me off. And then they both swerved over to the shoulder. And as I passed them, people were getting out of the car, like both cars.
Really?
Yeah. So I was kind of in the process of merging over onto or going the exit ramp to then loop onto the Henday. So I wasn't, stopping or couldn't see it as I circled around. But hopefully nobody got hurt. But that was my first real experience with something like that.
Then turning into like where I live, kid was crossing the street with his mom, like little kid on his bike. So I kind of just stayed in the middle of the road to not let anyone go around me, keep the kid safe. I had my signal light on because I was turning right. his car starts to creep up between me and the curb.
That's crazy.
I was like, my goodness.
Sounds like your neighborhood's full of bad drivers.
I went from 0 to 180 in 5 minutes. No, 5 seconds. It was
5 minutes. That's a long time.
That's a long. Couldn't formulate a sentence when I got home. Anywho, have a great day, everyone. Appreciate you guys listening. Low Tide coming up next. Check the podcast if you missed it, or Sports 1440 AM on YouTube. Right now, let's get to a Sports 1440 update. Brought to you by Cattail Crossing. Glow Night Golf every second Friday. So not tomorrow, but the following Friday they'll be doing it. 35 minutes after sunset. $65 a person. Includes 9 holes, walking, 1 glow ball rental, and $5 voucher to Out of Bounds. Book now at cattailcrossing.ca.
The Sports 1440 update.
Week 4 in the CFL kicking off tonight in Winnipeg with the Edmonton Elks taking on the Blue Bombers. Edmonton going to be without starting linebacker Nick Anderson. Brock Mogensen drawn in his place in the starting lineup. Kickoff coming 6:30 from the Peg. NHL offseason, another trade to report on this morning as the Washington Capitals, after adding the likes of Alex Tuck and Jordan Kyrou, have shipped RFA Hendricks Lapierre to the Penguins. A couple of draft picks coming back, including a 3rd rounder in 2027. Earlier on this morning, the Panthers making another add, as well as they bring in Garnet Hathaway from Philadelphia and a 6th round pick in exchange for a pair of draft picks in the 4th and 5th rounds. Philly also retaining half of Hathaway's remaining 2.4 AAV salary in the final year of the contract. Earlier this morning, another blockbuster in the NBA to report on, as well as LaMelo Ball and Josh Green have been sent from Charlotte to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Back to the way is Naz Reid, a unprotected 1st-round pick in 2033, 3 first-round pick swaps, and 3 additional 2nd-round selections. World Cup action today. Group play continuing to draw to a close. Curacao on the Ivory Coast kick things off at 2 o'clock from Philadelphia. Also at 2, Germany up against Ecuador. 5 o'clock slate has Japan playing Sweden and the Netherlands up against Tunisia. Nightcap games, 8 o'clock kickoff for the United States and Turkey from Los Angeles, and then Australia taking on Paraguay from the Bay. Finally, in the majors, lighter slate today with just 9 games. The Blue Jays open a set against the Texas Rangers from downtown Toronto. Kevin Gosselin on the bump for the Bluebirds. First pitch just after 5 o'clock. Catch that game right here on Sports 1440. Joined in progress at the conclusion of the Jason Greger Show. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is the Lowdown with Low Tide. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440.